Hi again, first graders. We are on Knowledge 4, Lesson 2, Writing in Mesopotamia. Our first vocabulary word today is cuneiform. Say cuneiform. Cuneiform is a system of writing in Mesopotamia using wedge-shaped symbols. And the next vocabulary word is scribes. Say scribes. Scribes are people whose job is to write things down. At the end of today's read aloud, you will be able to identify the main idea or topic, explain why writing was important during this time, and compare and contrast Mesopotamian writing to our writing, and evaluate what life would be like in ancient Mesopotamia without their writing system. The day after Eden and his father Wared had their conversation about King Hammurabi, Eden and his older brother Amur were out kicking a leather ball. When the boys went inside to cool off, they found their father Wared sitting at a wide table in the sunny central courtyard, around which the house was built. On the table lay several tablets, smooth rectangles made of clay. Wedge-shaped symbols were pressed into the clay. This sort of writing is called cuneiform. Wared looked up and smiled. This first tablet shows how much cloth we have sold this month in our store. The other shows how much we sold during the same time last year. I am comparing the numbers, deciding how much cloth I will need to buy from the weaver for the store next week. These sorts of records help me remember how much we sold last year. Otherwise, I would probably forget. Eden sat down on the wooden bench next to his table. Father, he asked, who figured out how to write in the first place? Who decided what each symbol meant? Before Wared could answer, Amur said, the king did it. Isn't that right, Father? King Hammurabi can do anything. Wared said gently, well, Amur, our king has done many wonderful things. But someone else made up writing even before our king was born. And Eden, I'm afraid we don't know exactly who it was that figured out how to write and decide what each symbol should mean. Eden laughed. Maybe they should have kept a record on clay tablets and cuneiform. Wared laughed too. Well, whoever it was did us all a great favor. If we couldn't write, it would be harder to remember information for long periods of time. Eden interrupted. Like how much cloth you sold last year? Wared smiled. Like how much cloth I sold last year. People around here between the Tigris and the Euphrates River have known about writing for nearly 1,500 years. That's a really long time. That's important. In fact, King Hammurabi may not have invented writing, but he had a great idea about how to use it. Hammurabi was so powerful that he made up a set of rules or laws for people to live by, so that they would know how to behave in different situations. Then he had his scribes write them down. And remember, scribes are people whose job is to write things down. Actually, your uncle, my brother, is one of the scribes who helped the king write down the laws of our country. This set of laws is called the Code of Hammurabi. There are 282 laws in all. Wow. That's a lot of laws, exclaimed Eden. That must have taken Uncle and the other scribes a really long time to write. How did Uncle get to be a scribe anyway? Our father, your grandfather, was a scribe, and that is why all of our family members can read and write. Your grandfather taught your uncle, and he taught me. We are lucky that we know how to read and write, and if your uncle and the others had not written down all the laws of King Hammurabi, who would be able to remember all 282 of them? Eden finished. Exactly, said Warren. Amir, what do you think would happen if we couldn't remember the laws? The older boy said, if we couldn't remember the laws, people wouldn't follow the same rules. Someone visiting another town might break that town's rules without even realizing it. Ward said, and Eden, what if you gave one set of rules and I gave Amir a different set of rules? That wouldn't be fair, said Eden, unless I liked my rules better than his. They all laughed. Then Amir said, I like writing for another reason, too. After Uncle visited us, I wrote down that story he told us about being caught in a sandstorm in the desert and how they all had to lie down and cover their heads when the strong winds blew because the sand was moving around all around them. I read it to Eden last night. Eden smiled. Maybe you should write a story about us, Amir. His brother thought about it. Then he answered, That is a funny story, Eden. Who would want to read a story about us?" Then the boys went back outside to play some more. The end. Okay, sorry about my dog interrupting us there at the end, but now you may go ahead and click on the Google form and answer the questions about today's read aloud.